In my last recap for the show, I asked you which six would you choose? And overwhelmingly, you chose nobody. What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I'm still breaking down Cobra Kai because I enjoy this show and I'm not ruining it for myself. So, this is season 6, episode 4. This is The Chosen, which oddly does not feature The Chosen, but this is where we choose the chosen ones that go on to the Sekai Kai. I don't know if I pronounced that right. I hope. Fingers crossed. Um, so, yeah, this has audio description on Netflix, and I have a purple hat on today. It's backwards with black sunglasses and a Batman shirt that's split half of Batman's face and half of Joker's face. So Cobra Kai, Never Die. Yeah, so they realize it opens up with Daniel and Johnny debating about, the choice, the tough decision of picking people. And obviously they can't do it because they're too close to the students. Like, Daniel's immediately like, well, of course, like Samantha and Anthony. And he's like, what is this, like a family vacation? And I was like, Johnny, you're getting like Miguel and Robbie. So, I mean, you're probably not the family vacation argument to make here, since your actual son and your quasi slash adopted son slash I'm basically his stepfather at this point we'll get to go. So yeah, I was kind of wondering if the core four would get shaken up and somebody would like drop out, but spoilers ahead. um so what ends up happening is they're like, okay, so we can't be subjective, so we need to get somebody who is. So they go get the guy who I don't know, Johnny went to I think they both went to him last season. What was it? They went to like, and wasn't he running like a furniture store or something? Former fighter. And then Silver like burned down his building, and then I don't know, whatever. So this guy comes back. No, I'm not going to remember his name because I know he's not going to come back for more than one episode. So there's no way he's in the next episode. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just like, I feel like this is just like a one-off thing. Um, and he comes in to judge sort of like the trials of the entire Cobra Kai dojo. So every single forgettable face that you're like, oh, that background character, who are these people? And then like sort of like supporting characters that have always been there, but like they're not part of the story, like Mitch, for example. So like Mitch gets his day, right? Um, so basically they have day one, which is like the trials and like who makes the cut, and pretty predictably, like everybody who's a main character in the show makes the cut. So you've got Miguel, Robbie, Sam, Tori, Hawk. You got um, Dimitri. You've got both Anthony and his counterpart. The, I'm remembering all their names. The one that they went and got was from last season. I can't even remember his name. Devin made it. Mitch made it. Who else made it? There are like two other people, obviously. Um, and yeah, so they're like 12 people. And then those people are put into this challenge where they have to collect flags, and the people with the most flags get to go, like are guaranteed spots, and then he'll judge based on the performance of the others. So of the 12, we are we see Anthony's actually doing pretty well. Anthony's actually doing pretty well for himself. And then Kenny was his name. at the end of it comes along, and he's in a fight with Anthony, and he ends up injuring Anthony and knocks Anthony out of consideration when Anthony probably had enough flags to actually make it. Um, so, but at the end of the day, he couldn't. He couldn't defeat Kenny. So the guy, you know, removes Anthony from consideration, and along with three other kids, probably the two I can't remember, that's someone else. I don't know who. Maybe Mitch. I don't know. I can't remember. Who knows? So we're left with the final. We're left with a top four of four people who are guaranteed spots, and the show was not remotely interested in having a debate about who those people were. So of course it's Robbie, Miguel, Tori, and Sam are immediately given spots. So there are two spots up for grab, which means that you have featured characters like Hawk and Dimitri facing off for the spots, but you also have sort of newer characters like Devin and Kenny facing off for the spots. So I like this episode a lot this season because we didn't try to like throw in multiple stories, and we didn't check it on Kreese with his dumbass storyline over there. This was all about this. This was all about the 6 spots. Who's getting it? Who's out? Who's in? So Devin feels like she's not getting a fair shake, and that she feels very much like the third girl, and she's never going to get seen under Tori and Sam. And it's like, yeah, but like I get that storyline for her because I don't know if there are any other girls at this dojo. They're not doing a really good job of selling me on, is there a fourth girl? Like, I don't know. There might only be 3 girls at Miyagi Do. So for her it may be different, but I'm like, think about all of the boys who are not Robbie or Miguel, you know? I mean, that's a lot of, you know, it's a lot. Even Hawk, who by the way has placed, who's done well in tournament play before, cannot be Robbie or Miguel. So yeah, Devin's, judgments about herself are semi-warranted, but also I don't care, because I think about like all of these guys that are fighting when 2 of the boy spots are clearly, up, like nabbed. Although there's no indication that this needs to be split equally gender-wise. So Johnny taking his only Eagle Fang person and to heart decides to try to advocate for her by going to the judge, and they fight it out, and he's like, fine, I'll give her a fair shake, whatever. So his final task is there's a flag somewhere, and the remaining people have to find it. And at this point, I think there's 6, actually. I think, yeah, maybe is it 6? Is it remaining 8? What the number are we at? I know some people got eliminated out of the top 12. I know Anthony wasn't the only one who's missing. So an indeterminate amount of people and extras that you don't really need to know about go running after 2 flags. One of the things that's happened since then is that Dimitri has found out that Hawk did not apply to MIT, that he just wants to kind of broaden his horizons, maybe take a gap year. He kind of suggests, he's like, because they're like, well, Dimitri's like, well, you have to get in now. You're going to be early. You won't be getting in if you won't do early. He's what I would call a bit much in this episode. And for somebody who claims to not need karate, and to be like, well, yeah, I'll be fine at MIT. I got my robotics club, and we're going to kick ass. We're going to, do some great things at MIT. And Hawk is like, yeah, I don't know where I fit in this world anymore. And Hawk's like, well, you fit with me. It's just like, I was like, what the fuck is up with Dimitri? And they try to like push this narrative where the girlfriend we all forgot he had, Yasmin, it comes in, and she's like, I heard you wanted, I don't know who this person is. I don't date losers, and you're not a loser. And she leaves. It's like her motivational speech. I'm like, thanks. I forgot you existed. literally, totally, admittedly forgot you existed. I'm still on like the where's Moon? Like I'm living in that world. I'm like, who are you? Excuse me, ma'am. Um, yeah, so I guess that motivates Dimitri to turn into an asshole because he absolutely steals this from Hawk. And it made me like I don't like Dimitri as much now because it's like he's fine. His whole narrative is about, listen, when all this is said and done, even if I don't get to go to Sentai, I'm good. I got MIT. And Hawk is like, I don't know what I've got, and I kind of want to figure that out, you know? But it's obvious that Hawk needs this more than Dimitri does. Dimitri, like, Hawk clearly beats Dimitri, and then he goes to try to like mend the, because he feels bad about not telling Dimitri that he didn't apply to MIT, so he tries to help him up, and Dimitri does one of those like underhanded, like oldish Cobra Kai things from back in the day, and knocks Hawk down and takes the flag and runs it back, and then so he gets to take one of the final spots, and it's just like that felt bad for his storyline. For him, that felt bad. That felt like a douche move that his character doesn't normally make. I'm kind of hoping they rectify that and he gives up his spot to Hawk. Because I don't want him to go to Sentai now, based on that. I just thought it was very weird how they wrote his character this episode. Because it didn't resonate at all with like 5 seasons of Dimitri. I was like, wait a minute. So what is his motivation at this point? Because he seems to be very pro MIT, and then this girl that they don't give enough screen time to comes in and is like, I don't date losers. What does she define as a loser? I mean, you're defining yourself as a winner because you get to go to MIT. So maybe she's not the right person for you, dude. Um, so he's just like angry at Hawk, and it's like, why can't you be happy for him trying to be like, maybe, I need to find out what's right for me? Because not everybody, goes to the same. It's not Glee. You don't all just get to go to New York and go to NIADA after this. That's why there's no season 7 of Cobra Kai. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe we're all at the same college. It's just so bizarre. It's so weird how this happened, how this worked out. I thought we were all going on different paths, but it's amazing that we all got accepted to MIT. Tori's here too. It's amazing. Like what's gonna happen? Seriously. So, on the other side, for the sixth and final flag, um, it ends up going to Devin. In a long roundabout way, as they're running through, we find out that Devin gets the final flag. And one of the ways that she does this is that she sees her biggest threat, because when we find out how she's done this, she could only have taken out one person, and so obviously she perceived that the biggest threat was Kenny, which is interesting because honestly her biggest threat would have been Hawk, but anyway, neither here nor there. So she perceives Kenny as being the biggest threat, and she takes Mitch's laxatives. I don't know why Mitch is on laxatives. It's like, bro. Anyway, so like eat better diet. I don't know what to tell Mitch. You're a kid in high school. Why are you on laxatives? Like, he just has laxatives on him. I guess he has them. Devin steals them, and Devin puts them in a high dose, I guess, for poor Kenny, who shits himself. Couldn't even get into I guess they had a porta potty out wherever they were, but only one, and it was occupied, and Kenny shits himself and goes in. Now, Kenny thinks it was Anthony, because since Kenny knocked Anthony out of competition, he thinks that his longtime rival did it, but it clearly shows you at the end, Devin did it. So Devin didn't trust enough in herself or in Johnny to earn Devin that spot. And she underhandedly did it. So will the show let her go to the Setai with us knowing that? That's the question. Is we got the 4 golden children all got their spots as expected. And then the final 2 spots, which were debatably up between a handful of characters, were both kind of taken in the wrong way. So are they going to let Dimitri and Devin compete? Or are we going to fix this? Those are the questions moving forward. Personally, I don't really give a crap about Kenny as a character. So I'm less invested in that, although I don't like the fact that Devin did that. Her character isn't as established, so it didn't feel like she made a decision that was completely unlike her. Whereas Dimitri, it felt like he did something that he would have accused Hawk of doing like 2 seasons ago. You know, it's just like, it's not you, bro. This is not. So I'd rather take away Dimitri's spot, even though I like Dimitri more as a character and would have been fine if both Hawk and Dimitri had gotten the flags and Devin and Kenny did not. Just because they're newer characters, and it's like those were sort of like basically all original characters. So, but now I kind of feel like both of them need to swap out, and we have to send Kenny and Hawk in order for this to feel like. But I feel like they're gonna swap probably one, and then the other person is gonna have to like rack with their. I could see Dimitri being like, you know what? I'm sorry. Here, I stole that from you. That's not fair. But I don't know that Devin's ever gonna own up to what she did. So we'll find out. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.